Hey React developers, welcome back to Web Dev in 10. Today we'll be unlocking the potential of another powerful React hook, which is the useRef hook. So what exactly is the useRef hook? The useRef hook is a feature in React that provides a way to create mutable objects that persist between renders. With the useRef hook, you can create objects that are mutable and can be updated without triggering a re-render or a rerun of the component. The useRef hook can also be used to refer to DOM elements directly. Now let's take a look at how it is declared. Just like in the useState and the useReducer hook, the useRef hook also takes in an initial value. To access the current value in the ref, we can do that by accessing the current property returned by the useRef hook. And inside the current property, we have the values we passed into the useRef, which is initially the initial value. We'll better understand this when I move to the code editor to practicalize what we learned. The next thing I want to talk about is the importance of useRef. The useRef is excellent for preserving values between renders. This makes it useful for scenarios like working with animations, focusing on elements, or caching values. It is also commonly used to reference and modify DOM elements directly. Another importance of the useRef hook is avoiding unnecessary re-renders. In situations where you have to interact with a value without causing a component to re-render, the useRef hook is a perfect fit. Now that we have a general understanding of the useRef hook, let's practicalize this in our code editor to better understand what's going on. As usual, I already have my React app set up. The only thing I have is my index.js and app.js file. And my app.js file, I only have a div displaying app. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is inside my div, I'm going to be putting an input. So we're going to have an input of type text. I'm also going to give it a value, hello universe. I'm pretty sure we're all tired of hearing hello world, so I'm just going to change it a little bit. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is declaring our useRef. Just like the way I showed previously, what we're going to do is just const. I'm going to be calling this input_ref, since I'm going to be targeting an input element. So input_ref, that will be equals to useRef. I'm not going to be giving this an initial value since we're going to be targeting our input. By default, the initial value of a useRef is null. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is importing our useRef from React. And after this, before you can be able to access your DOM elements, we're going to have to pass the input_ref, which is the name of our useRef, into our ref property. What I'm trying to say is, since we're targeting our input elements, right here, we're going to type in our ref property. Then we're going to pass in the name of our useRef, which is input_ref for this. It does not have to always be an input. You can put it on a div or on a section, whatever it is. But before you can connect our DOM element and our ref, we have to pass this in. So now that we have this, the next thing I'm going to be doing is calling a useEffect. If you don't have a good understanding of the useEffect hook, I advise to watch my previous video on the useEffect hook before continuing this. I'll put the link in the description below so you can check it out. So now we're going to import our useEffect from React and then declare it down here. So useEffect, we're going to pass in our callback function. And I'm going to keep the array of dependency empty since I want it to run only once. Now, inside our useEffect, I'm going to be console logging the input_ref so we can see what it returns. So let's save this. And as you can see in our console, if you don't know how to open your console, you just have to press Ctrl+Shift+I. Now, in our console, we have an object that has the current property, just like I said before. The current property holds our inputs, which is what we are targeting. So now if we want to have access to the inputs, all we have to do is just say input_ref.current, and if you console log this, we are going to have our input. Now what I want to show you is the value inside our input_ref. So to have access to this, it's just simple. We have our input_ref, our current, and they just say .value. And there we have it. So now if we want to update the value of our input element, all we have to do is just input_ref.current.value, and then you pass in the new value. So I'll just say a universe and just save that. and immediately we have our value updated. Uses of the useRef. So now that we know how to use the useRef to target DOM elements, is a counter application where we increase the count, decrease the count, or reset the count. We did this previously using the useReducer. If you watched the previous video, and we're going to do the same thing again with the useRef in a simpler and easier way. So inside our app components, we're going to be returning 3 buttons: the increase, reset, and decrease button. And also in our button, we're going to put in an onClick. An onClick, which is going to be calling a particular function. We're going to be calling this increase. I'm going to copy and paste it here. This is going to be called reset. And this is going to be called decrease. I'm going to be creating these functions now. So const increase is just a callback function. Reset and decrease. Now the next thing we're going to be creating is our useRef. I'm going to be calling this the counterRef. And this is going to be having an initial value of 0. Now that we have our counterRef, I'm going to be displaying the value inside this paragraph. And to access the value, we're just going to access our current property, which is counterRef.current. And this is going to be displaying the value of our counter. Now inside our increase, we're just going to update the counter value the way we did before, and that will be counterRef.current plus or equals 1. And this will be increasing it by 1. And also let's console log our counterRef.current. Let's copy this, and inside our reset, we're going to setting it equal to 0. And inside our decrease, we're going to be subtracting 1 instead. Now let's check this out in our console. So when I click on increase, we have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, reset, and also decrease. But if you notice something, you notice that our value here does not change. And this is because useRef does not trigger a re-render. Value is increasing, it is changing, but the component is not re-rendered for it to display the updated value. So that is one of the properties of the useRef. It does not trigger a re-render. Unlike the useState triggers a re-render anytime it is updated. That causes the functional components to display the updated value. So that is all I'm going to be explaining today. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.